Hey Kippy, this is HK, and for anyone watching this, I believe this is a low gold, high silver replay. So the person we're looking at today is Bivy Tout. I don't really know how to pronounce that. Sorry if I'm butchering it. Oh, good half flip. I'd say right away, your kickoff could probably use some work. Save yourself a little bit of boost. Okay, so I get that you're staying far post to be ready to defend any shot, but here you kind of always want to have at least one person challenging the ball, and to get half flip, you see that your teammate kind of fails here and backs off. That means he's coming to net most likely, but you're still in net, so he can't get into net. You could have put pressure on that ball at the time and not give him possession, because your teammate was obviously, I mean, it was bad that he didn't follow this ball up, but you easily could have instead, because you had a better angle on it anyways. So anyways, your teammate has to kind of cut rotation here because you stayed in goal, because when you're in your net here, let me okay, my beautiful goal. Okay, you guys are blue team, right? So this is your teammate. Or it doesn't really matter. In general, you have the guy here is the receiver or challenger, and then you have the goalie here, right? So here your teammate's rotating back, and he should have taken goalie position, but you kind of took it already, so he had to double back and be the receiver or challenger, which isn't too bad. It's just look at the angle he's hitting the ball. He's hitting it this way. Use green. This way. Right? So it's gonna bounce like this, kind of into where the enemy guy is. Whereas if you hit the ball, like say you were here, or like you were like here, right? You could have hit the ball. Let's use red. At like this angle, getting it more towards their side. So something to look into. I'll try to keep a notepad of like what I think or maybe the top 5 things you should work on, is just because I mean we could go and nitpick your entire replay all day, but it might not be that helpful to you. It might just be like way too much information. So I'll try to consolidate into like 5 or 6 tips that I think you need to focus on. Okay, it was good that you challenged there. It's fine. You can still rotate. Okay, good rotation right there. Yeah, really good. Good far post rotation. Okay, I like it. Nice try. Okay, you didn't really need boost here, because you have all these boost pads that you just passed that guy, right? You could have been like boom, 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 boom. That's like 60 boost, so you didn't really need to. You're kind of leaving your teammate alone for a little longer than you'd probably like, but it doesn't really matter. He's putting pressure on the ball. You got back to it just fine. Just in some cases, if your enemies were a little faster, then they might have been able to put a little better pressure on the ball there for you going around for boost. Okay, that's another thing to note. When you hit the ball, try to be a little more aware of how you hit it. I think I sent you like I kind of made a small video talking about like what helped me get out of silver when I was silver. So I think this is one of the biggest things I mentioned in that video. It's kind of obvious, but you want to hit the ball like like this way. Yeah, you want to hit the ball towards their side of the field, which is really obvious thing to say, but at the same time, this, you know, looking at how they're positioned, I hate these controls. Looking at how they're like the controller controls for replays. Anyways, looking at how they're positioned, this guy shouldn't have been this far back. If your teammate is all the way up there, he probably shouldn't have been this far back. I mean, I get that he doesn't have full possession of the ball, but still, he probably could have moved up a little quicker. And if he did, he would be in position to have hit this ball straight in. This is good, taking a wider angle to get this. Here, you weren't really being challenged. You didn't have to give up possession there. Let's take a look. Boom. I love the light tap. That was really good. And if you knew how to dribble the ball, here is where you should dribble the ball. But instead you kind of tap it, which I understand. I mean, you're gold. You're not gonna really be able to dribble it that well. Maybe a little bit of wall play would be good for you, because instead of going, once you see this, instead of going for it directly, you could have drove up the wall to the right here. Where's my mouse? Okay, you can't get a mouse back. Okay, you can drive up the wall to the right here and hit it that way instead of using, you use like 50 boost to get that hit. And it wasn't like as strong of a hit as if you drove up the wall and like flipped into the ball, you know. That's the trade-off, right? If you can jump once and flip into the ball, it's a lot more powerful, but it's a lot, you know, it's not as, you don't get as much height on it, and you don't get to it as quickly. So you have to choose between either doing a fast aerial, or if you're going to do a, what's going on here? Okay, either doing a fast aerial, where you get to it quick, using 2 jumps, or you get to it later, but you get to hit it harder. And this is one of those situations here. Was it here? Did I go too far? Okay, I didn't go far enough. Okay. Here we go. God, sorry, did not go far enough. This was one of those situations where you could have chosen to take your time, because sometimes you just want to be cognizant of where your enemies are, because you know, like, he's like over here, and you just saw this guy miss. Where is he? You just saw him miss, so he's not going to come back for the ball, and he's all over there. So if you took a quick glance as to like where he is, you would have known that you had way more time to kind of boom this ball out instead of lightly touch it, because doing a fast aerial, you really just don't get that much power. Okay. Let's see here. Boom. Okay, still putting pressure on the ball. Okay, here you're kind of cutting rotation here. If you look at another point of view, what that looks like. Now, let me ask you, who has a better angle to hit this ball right now? Your teammate has a much better angle. He could drive up the wall and then boom, hit it out, right? Versus you kind of in an awkward spot. If you hit it, you might very well end up centering the ball. And instead, from your teammate's point of view as well, you might just be kind of blocking him, right? Oh, he's not even looking at you. But if he was looking at you, he would know that your car is right next to him and be kind of, you know, I would be freaked out. I'd be like, oh my God, I can't move up. I'm going to bump my teammate. We're going to double collide. It's going to be awful. Anyways, back to you. Okay, you guys are both in the same area here. I don't really blame you for this. It's more your teammate's fault. He shouldn't have followed you after you went to get that ball. That's okay. Yeah, so meaningful touches. That was definitely not a meaningful touch. It's pretty lucky that y'all didn't get scored on there. Okay. So you doubled back here once you drive under the ball, don't try to hit it. Just keep moving. Cuz you had a you got bumped here. I mean, no one blames you, but you went too far. You were no longer in position to hit this ball. Like, look at Mex. Look what kind of angle he has. It doesn't matter that you were closer to the ball, because look at this next hit. It's not a good hit by squares and hearts, right? So he could have, if at the time you guys are scrambling here and you took time to maybe bump this guy, I'll use blue, so it's because you're blue. Bump the red guy, boom. Circle around to mid. This is you, and then this is teammate, and then this is hearts guy, just like scrambling around, not hitting the ball well. Your teammate could have banged it to middle for you, and then you could have gotten a potential goal. Not saying it's gonna be easy goal. It's still like, you know, up in the air, but definitely potential goal. So just rotate out. I mean that still goes to like one of the main points issues I'm seeing you have is your rotation. You not rotating right is also making you a little inconsistent with how well you're hitting the ball, because you're just hitting the ball at awkward angles. You know, sometimes you're not rotating out quick enough. So that means you're forced to hit the ball at a pretty disadvantaged angle. Okay, not bad. Ooh, so there, it would have been really good if you just went far post, because your teammate had this anyways, but that's okay. He still got around you. You just don't want to block your teammate when he has the clear shot. I don't know if you intended on going for the ball here. That would have been really bad if you intended on going for the ball here. But so far looking pretty good. Some of your rotation, you know, decisions, pretty impressed by, especially for your rank. At the same time, oh no, almost. At the same time, some of the rotation mistakes I'm seeing, you know, pretty understandable. Could you have done something better here? I would have taken a look for my teammate. Like right here, I would use my right stick to just take a quick glance, because see where he's at. Because I don't know. I mean, I guess a back pass does work. I don't hate it too much, but you know, because your teammate wasn't really in position to receive it. But you know, but you didn't even check. If your teammate was in position to hit it, you would have not known. So I don't know. Maybe that should be maybe that's another one of the top things. Use your thumbstick to see your teammates before you make decisions. Why am I looking at this guy? I like the idea. Landed kind of awkward. I like the idea. Oh, lucky with the boost. Ooh, following too close here. Another rotation mistake. You don't want to. I'll link you Sunless Con's rotation video. He actually breaks it down like pretty easy to understand terms. But basically, divide the stadium by 9s. And if this is you and this is your teammate, you never want to be in the same zone as your teammate. At least not willingly. Like if you guys cross, like you're rotating back and he's rotating in, then it's kind of okay. But that was kind of a willing, you never want to be in the same zone. Teammate and you, never. Just okay, I'm gonna use A and B. I don't like T and Y. You never want to do this because also it just limits the amount of like stage control you have. Imagine it's a game of chess, right? Like if you and your teammate were here, and the enemy was here, depending on where the ball goes, right, you guys really only have control in like this part of the map, maybe this part, but then these guys have control of all of this. Maybe more like this. This is kind of even, but you know what I'm saying? Like they have way more stage control than you guys do because you're limited to 1. Whereas if you had this, right, you know, then there's a pretty even line down the middle here. And you know, of course they have all this, but you guys have, but these 3 squares are not in play right now. If the ball's like over here, those 3 squares don't matter. Only these 6 do, and then you guys will have an even amount of presence on the map. Is the word I'm looking for. So don't be in the same square as your teammate unless you're just passing by. But here, he already kind of has control of the ball. Even if he doesn't, let's watch this again. Boom, you're rotating back. See, your teammate has it. So here, your job is actually just to wait in net. Make sure he has a solid clear, and when he rotates back, you rotate in. But instead, you're rotating in without him rotating back. So boom, you guys have no control over your own goal. if you're, you know how I mentioned like these, where's my mouse? These three are non-consequential because they're not in play. The ball's here. That means the immediate touching squares that are in play are this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and this guy. And if your goal is, I hate this color. If your goal is one of the squares in play, don't leave it untended, or try not to. Unless you guys are rotating like gods and just clearing that ball 100%, don't leave that unattended. Oh god, sorry, I didn't skip there. Is it your kickoff? Nice, your kickoff. Good to see. Okay, yeah, just learning a better kickoff is good. You have 0 boost here, and usually you could get away with doing a pretty solid kickoff with about 20 boosts left. Maybe a little less than that, depending on the kickoff, but like 10 to 20. And you having no boost after that is kind of like disadvantaged. Okay, got bumped, no problem. Just gotta keep moving. Okay. You're rotating back without even looking at the ball right now, and without looking at your teammate. I can't even tell like what's going on. So I have to turn off flight cam. But the fact that you didn't look means, you know, you just don't have enough information to be making a smart choice right now to know like that boost is a smart choice. So just try to think ahead. You know, you're just driving a straight line anyways, so why not take a look? Sorry, ignore the beeps. Those are my emails. I will check that in a second. Those are tough. Gotta practice the wall stuff, but I mean, it's a little early for you anyways. I didn't really do wall stuff until I guess I did it. I started when I was gold, so it's not too far from you, but that was another case of a non-meaningful hit. Even if you touched it, you got there so late that it would have just kind of sent it towards your half. Oh, I like the idea. That was fine. You could have caught the ball. I mean, they weren't challenging you, so you actually could have not even driven up. Just wait on the ground. Like, look at where the circle is. Because when you're here, you see that circle on the ground? You know the teammate's not going to get it. The guy is up in the air. He's going to be there for a while. Just drive right next to where the circle is going to be and catch it with the side of your car. You didn't need to hit it here. Or you could have hit it that way, like just like trying to drive up to where the circle is going to be and then like boom it out. You don't have to flip early. Alright, good rotation there. You knew that your teammate didn't have that because he was at an awkward angle. That's fine. Okay, grabbing the boost. Nice. Okay, dribbling here. Dribble attempt. Getting it around them. Not a bad idea. Maybe could have worked with your teammate a little bit better on making that a passing play instead of a solo play, because the angle you had was going to be pretty tough for a solo play. And that's it. All right, man. All in all, pretty good for gold. I mean, let me see. So I think your main things is, one, your rotation needs a lot of work. Let's not do caps. For this, I would recommend Sunless Cons 2v2 video. I'll link all these in the description below too. Number 2, better clears, meaningful hits. In my I made a silver to gold video, so I'll just link that, and it's tip number 5. Tip number 5 in my 3. What's it called? Far post rotations. Musty made a video on this. It's really good. For the most part, you did do it, like especially early on. I think maybe by the end of the game, you guys were getting kind of flustered because you were down and you just kind of stopped doing it. But early on, I saw you rotating like pretty well. So I don't know. I think it just comes and goes. You know, watch your own replays and try to catch yourself. Now you know what to look for. Let's say. I think honestly that's one of the main things about boost management. You don't go for pads enough. You go for a lot of you go for a lot of like big boosts, which is fine in your level, honestly. But you know, one easy way to get better and quote quote get faster is just like go for pads. Because if you look at look at the arena, boom, okay, look at where the pads are placed. They're all where the meaningful part of the game is. Like the ball is usually in this area, right? Versus the big boosts are not in parts where the game is played a lot. So that's definitely one thing. Going for big boost sometimes takes you out of the play. Oh god, number 5, the biggest one. You use your right stick more. Always look for your teammate. Look for your teammates and look for your enemies to try to decide like, oh, do I have possession and am I rotating correctly? So honestly, I might take this out just because it's not really like a silver and gold thing. I mean, it'll help you, but anyways, number 6, last one. Consistent hits. I think just be a little more calm with your hits. Know that like hitting defensively is a lot easier than hitting offensively. So sometimes you're kind of freaking yourself out when you go for the ball, but it kind of goes to number 5 too, right? If you looked for your teammate, then you know, hey, I'm good to hit this ball, you know. Anyways, I hope this helped. I'll type out some more information in the description below, so make sure to read that, and I'll catch you next time.